playtest. No, you're stuck there.
You should have sounded like, oh my God, you should be going, I'm not with you.
Yeah, but only when
Eric, come on. Eric's tall and gangly, got a scruffy beard, you know.
at least your nose is closed, it's clean.
I've been instructed to do some talking because we're adjusting microphones, and you know, that's what I'm here for. And I'm not on camera until noon, but I'm gonna keep talking because I'm really good at it, and I like to talk. I talk to the chat, except I don't have my iPad here yet, so then I just get to talk to myself. Yep, because it's Thursday. And coming up first is going to be Emmanuel doing
You know what we should never have? Permanent markers where we are supposed to have erasable things. I'll just mention that in passing. What?
Hey Rob, come here.
Are we on it?
Yes, we're live.
Right.
Rob Davio, everyone.
Hey, microphone tester extraordinaire.
This is
Check
like,
one.
You're like one of our favorite people to bring in to be like, we have space to fill.
Dead air,
Come
dead
talk.
Bring the chatty guy.
I really had fun punking you yesterday.
Yes, you did.
There's a giant poster of Rob.
It's a little
sketched.
It's a little big.
Yeah,
It's a character.
I know, right?
It's me, my character in Mountains of Madness.
Right.
And they blew up that card to 700 feet, it feels like.
Right.
It's very big.
To answer your question, John took that. Which
Yes.
basically I was like, stop.
That she prefers a 2D version of you than me.
Hey, it's a giant 2D version of him.
It is larger than life.
Because, you know, if that head was attached to the rest of you, I mean, you'd be like 15 feet tall.
At least. My wife got a kick out of it. I'm like, I just got this from Beth, and she's like, oh, look at her. Doing inappropriate things to a poster.
It's kind of my gig.
Semi-appropriate.
So, did you arrive yesterday?
I arrived yesterday. I'm just existing on caffeine and adrenaline and hope.
I'm with you on that one. And hope, yes.
I am looking forward to the show. I got a couple games coming up.
I am thrilled that Season 2 got through the printer in time to be released here.
Yeah, early reviews are positive, which is a bit of a relief because I turned it in, Matt and I turned it in Gen Con last year.
Right.
So first of all, if anyone asks me any questions about the rules, I need to get a copy of the game to remember.
Right.
Tom Bassett
Your brain's moved on.
He cornered me in a bar last night to ask me some question because he had played through and I'd gotten 3 hours of sleep on a Reddit. And he's like, so this rule? And I'm like, Tom, I don't remember. I will look it up and get back to you.
Which I noticed that little punk back at me and John in the thank you for Downforce.
What did I do? Where did I do it?
When Lindsay it was Lindsay.
It was Lindsay.
Yeah, because when she had given us a form to fill out for some play testing, it had said group name and then player's name. So I thought we had to create a group name.
Right.
So I created a group name of BJ Breaks Games.
Right.
And she put that in the special thanks for Downforce, even though the form was for something else. and I wasn't. Somebody said like, "Oh, you're in here. What the hell is BJ Breaks Games?" I'm like, "Oh, she didn't," because mostly I was just got confused and decided to make up a name.
Yeah,
So
no, that was her. I remember that.
yeah, she did inspire us though, because John and I are buying a building next month.
Yeah.
Yay. And we had to create an LLC to basically be the holder of the property and the debt. And so we actually tossed around that as BJ Breaks Games as the owner of as the name of the LLC. We actually went with another gaming in-joke.
Making fun of me.
Making fun of John. He was playing a game and Phoenicia, and he was losing horribly. And so he decided he was going to blow all his money to be Overlord once.
Yep.
And so he won it, and he stood up, and he meant to say, "I am Overlord John," and what came out of his mouth was, "I am Overland George."
You get your own name wrong.
My own name.
So-
picked a different beetle.
Yep.
So our LLC is called Overland George Holdings.
That is perfect. That is wonderful.
I'm sure the lawyer who did it was like,
It's not the weirdest name that he's seen.
right?
Am I to talk about Maple Circus?
No, we are going to talk about me.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Yes,
I would
all
be
right. We get kicked out.
Okay. Microphone check and patter done.
Check out.
There we go.
Yep.
Always glad to get to be interviewed with you. It's all
All good.
That's all you see? Right there?
And tonight I am.
Beth, can you just flip around the... Yeah.
But it's us and Jeff.
Alright. So he'll tell us to start in a couple minutes and we'll just start talking.
Okay.
I'll introduce you. You can talk to the camera or you can talk to me, whatever seems best for you.
Okay.
And just shoot for like a 5-minute overview.
Okay.
That's the nature of the game. It's mostly, I mean, watching people play with this is mostly what we're going to do. Beth, actually, can you flip the top one too? Just so I know. Okay. No? Oh. I need to. Don't I need to
Start building stuff.
Alright.
I've got the entirety of that square in the center.
Okay. There we go. Jeff, I could just write Sarah if you want and ask her to ship us stuff. Right. Okay. If they could bring it to me, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you. But I'll make a note. I'm not going to remember that. Okay. We're good. All right. Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I am here with Cedric Millet, designer of Meeple Circus from Madigo, a game about meeple stacking, which is what we do for fun. And now we do it for fun in a different way, right? So
That's right.
maybe you give an overview here of what the circus is like.
Okay, so basically in this game you are the head of acrobats.
Yes.
So you start with 2 acrobats, and the game will have 3 rounds. So the 2 first rounds will be rehearsals, and the last one will be the big show in front of the audience.
Okay.
So the goal of the game, of course, is to get as many applause as possible. So
With
that's
applause
why,
being points.
yes,
That's how we score.
applause are the
Yeah.
points. So that's why here you track the points with this applause-o-meter, and then 2 acrobats are not obviously enough to do a good show. So
Yes.
the first part of the game is to get more components. So you have a small drafting phase, 2 rounds, and you have to take 2 tiles one of this type and one of this type.
Okay.
Those types will
For the first act.
yeah, for the first act, so
Right.
it will give you more components. So you have to choose so that you can build something nice which can please the audience.
Okay.
So how do you know if you please the audience or not? So for this you have a few rules, but you mostly have these cards here. So you have at the beginning of the game you randomly choose 4 cards, which will give you the audience tastes. So which means that if you include those patterns into your act that you are building, you will score more points. You will get more applause from the audience.
Yes. Okay. And we're going to make these acts by drafting the pieces
Yes.
with these goals in mind for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first round. Then everybody will build its own act simultaneously.
Okay.
And the fastest will get some extra points because, you know, the audience doesn't like acts that last forever.
Right. Okay. So first, so you might take one of these tiles.
Yeah, so for example, I take this tile.
All right.
Second round, I can start either by this
I'll
type of
take this
tile
one.
or this tile. Yeah.
All right.
So then second round, I have to take the other type. I haven't taken yet. So it would be this one. And of course, I get the corresponding components.
Okay.
So let's say I'm getting an elephant. So we have many components. We have horses, elephants, planks, that's balloons. Of course, you have stickers here I don't know, to customize either the nipples we'll talk about a little later and
Right.
the balloons.
Okay.
And then once you have your components, you have to build your act.
Okay. I mean, we don't have this right now, but there is circus music to accompany.
Exactly.
This-
Instead
this
of having
round.
hourglass, you have some soundtracks.
Okay.
So Matego has done a small application, but you can also directly play the soundtracks from their website.
Okay.
So that's play the role of a hourglass to limit the act to 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this while you're talking. All right.
Okay, then so we evaluate the acts. So we have 3 kind of meeples. The blue ones are beginners, so they have to touch the ground to score 1 point. The yellow ones are intermediate. So intermediate acrobats must not touch the ground to score 1 point.
Yeah.
So very good. So your 2 blue will score 1 point each, and the yellow will score also 1 point, 1 applause.
That's right. And then
And for the red, you will have to use this ruler to check how high it is. And you will score points depending on the height.
That's right, for Daredevil acrobat. Okay.
Okay, then we go to the second act.
That's right.
So again,
These will be cleared out.
Yes, we remove this, and we have new tiles. So, sorry, I don't have
left
them
them in
here,
the
but
box.
in the box you have more tiles that you would again
There you
put
go.
here. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And the second type of tile you will get are guest stars. So this time, in the preparation phase, you'll get more components and you will choose a guest star.
Okay.
And the guest star, so we have 10 guest star, so that's specific meeples with again stickers to customize them.
Yeah.
And they have a specific way to score applause.
Okay.
So you have to meet these requirements to score more points.
Okay.
So again, we draft more components. You
These,
choose, I
these.
take one, and so on. Let's admit I took this camel. The camel has to be like this to score, for example.
Okay.
So that's for the second round. So
Yeah.
still playing simultaneously.
Yep.
And then we go to the final round, the big show. So for this big show, again we have more tiles. So we will get 2 extra components and a challenge. So the last type of tile are challenges. So the challenge are things that you have to do to please the public more.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
yes.
plotting or
Yes, for example, here you have a break time, which means during 20 seconds during the act, you have to stop and have a break and simulate you eat a sandwich, for example.
Okay.
You have sometimes to imitate a drum with 2 fingers when you put your last component, and then at the end of the show, of course, you have every time at the end of the act you have to say "ta-da,"
Okay.
So that's the kind of challenges you have. It can be also more technical challenges, like for example, not using your thumbs.
Yes.
So you have many ways. We have more than 20 challenges.
Okay.
And of course, people can choose the one they would like to do.
And each time, of course, we're drafting more components, so we're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger
Yes.
as we're trying
For
to
each act,
put
you have a
everything
bigger
right.
act.
Okay.
So-
and finish the 3 rounds and
So for the last round, each player will present its act in front of the other one.
okay.
So it's different. It's a different experience.
Okay.
This game brings a lot of emotions around the table. It's fun.
Okay.
And,
And there we go. And of course, you can imagine this could have any number of expansions for. All
yes,
sorts of
yes, we
different
have
circus
many
acts here.
ideas. In fact, for more expansions.
All right. So thank you very much, Cedric, for the overview.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Super Drooper.
Yes. Here, let's have the lid. We're good? You're all ready?
I think I'm ready, yes.
I think you're ready. It's been a while since you've been on camera here.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, Eric.
Please, you're ready. Hi, this is Eric Martin, Report Game Geek. I'm here with Emmanuel Ornella, designer of Okanagan from Matago, a nice tile-laying game. You wrote some comments on the development of there, an overview that I posted. It's interesting to hear about the development of the game.
Yeah.
Trying to hear sort of the hidden connection with Hermagor.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
from
exactly.
there. Yeah.
There is some ideas, some concept. Of course, there are some other concepts in the game.
Yes.
You can probably recognize some famous tile games on this.
You cannot escape a tile game here. I mean, because it's only natural now that, of course, when you lay down tiles, you're going to have things that mesh together and make a nice landscape in a world that you're living in. So
exactly, and this is also, in my opinion, easy to grasp because you know already the mechanic,
Right.
and so it's easy to start because the game is particularly easy to play, but challenging to win.
Okay, so maybe we give an overview here.
Yep.
We're just talking to each other here as opposed to showing you how the game works.
Yep,
So we'll talk
sure.
about that.
So, we are in Okanagan, the valley of lakes. Each tile has different type of territories, as you can see. So forests, etc., lakes, of course. And on each territory, you have also some rewards, some resources, if you want.
Yes.
At your turn, everybody has one tile. So you only see your tile, and you play your tile. And so this is particularly easy. You have to play the tile matching the other territories. So you cannot do like that.
Right.
But of course, this is fine. Of course, it's also fine like this, and etc. You can put like this. That's obviously easy. But then you have to place one of your buildings. So we have silos, we have warehouse, and we have farmers. We have some of them the first round. Then we will score, and then not score, but we will change the objectives. I will tell you, and then we will take the other new ones. So this is basically you can only play those. So you get rid of something while you are playing.
Yes, and that's kind of interesting too. You are forced to play something.
You are forced to play.
You're going to do it.
You always have to play one building when you put the tile.
Yes.
This is a little bit different from the famous tile game.
But it's interesting too because you're invested. Like you never want to waste anything.
Exactly.
To make the most of
exactly.
what you're putting down here.
You have still the choice which one you want to put.
Yes.
Because now I tell you one thing. So whenever you put the tile, then you place the building, and the buildings must be played in a specific part of the tile. So the farmer will be placed exactly in one of the territories. So either in the forest, in the mountain, or in the lake for this time. And this will give 3 influence points, but only on the territory where you are. Okay. If you put the warehouse must be between exactly 2 territories. Okay. So, and this will give 2 influence points, not 3 like this, 2, but in both. So 2 here and 2 here.
Yep.
So you can have more rewards because you touch 2 different territories. The silos must go exactly in the middle, so you touch all the possible territories, but gives only 1 influence point.
Yes.
So let's see how it's working. I mean, I play this tile. This is perfectly fitting this, and as you can see, this is also closing this territory, which is brilliant because this is exactly the moment where we will get the rewards. So let's suppose that I want to be in the territory. So I put a farmer here. This point, the territory is closed. We check, is it closed? Yes. Sometimes you can close even more than 1. And then we count the influence points for each player. In this case, yellow will get 3, 2 for this warehouse, and only 1 on this territory. So first thing, we see who has the less points, because who has the less get a special ability from one of those tiles. Interesting thing is tiles are double, so you use both tiles, but in some way, and you can only have those special abilities in this moment. Special abilities are very easy. You can get 2 rewards of this type. You get 1 nugget, and or you can exchange rewards with another player. But there are more here. As you can see, there are more things coming on. So let's say that, for instance, I want this. I will put this back, okay, and I take the 2 awards.
The red wood.
And that's you, because you have less. So even if you have less points, you may want to close a territory simply because you get something anyway. So this is also balancing the fact that you may want to play even if you don't have a chance to get the majority, you know. Then we get the rewards. So the rewards is indicating the territory, as you already put here. We have 2 rocks, 2 miners, and 1 ore, I think. And so we start with who has the most influence points, and this player will get all the number of influence points. So yellow will start because it has 3, and will get 3. So for example, well, I would like to take those 3. Okay.
White gets 2.
White is 2, and red doesn't have any more because the territory was not big enough. So nothing. You get your own thing.
That's
okay?
right.
And then I will just draw another tile from here or 1 random from here. And for example, I will take this here. 9. Then it's next turn.
Okay.
How you score points? Resource awards will give you points, but only based on the objectives that you have. Okay. So at the very beginning, you draw 5 objectives. Cards, and you take 3, so you have a little bit of choice. And when we end the first round, when we get rid of all the buildings, we will get other 2 cards, and then we always keep 3. So you have a chance to change your objectives if you didn't do well enough. Objectives are very easy because you will get 5 points for each couple of those awards. Let's see here, you get 3 points for each single of those, and for example 7 points if you have every set of those 3. Interesting thing is you can use the same award several times. So for example, if I have those 2 cards, I can use I can use this for scoring this and for scoring this. So you can do some kind of combo, and of course, I'm willing to take this award rather than something else.
Yes.
And that's it. I mean, it's very straightforward. You play the tie. You have to play the building. If you close the territory, you get rewards.
That's right. There's a reward for who has the most gold nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Based on that, there's a
Yes.
reward as well for.
True. For the explorer. So at the end, every set of 4 different tiles. It doesn't matter which shape. Okay, so those 4 here will give you 4 points. If you have another set, 4 points. And again, you can use this for the other objectives and for the explorer as well.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's very straightforward, and yet you have a lot of control and a lot of difference. If you place this here, you could now be.
Exactly. That's
you close it, and you get to choose this. You could choose that your one is going to be worse than his one.
Exactly, because the player who close the territory, in case of tie, and in this case we have a tie, 1 point, 1 point, and 2 points. So who will get this special thing? The player who played the tile will choose, and of course I will choose myself.
Yes, of course. So I mean, you have lots of little layers of control in terms of those sort of issues and how you're closing things.
And at the end of the game, of course, you will not be able to close everything.
Yes.
So you need to be careful not to open too much. Mostly at the end. Sometimes you can have holes, so you will not be able to close.
That's
and
right.
it's a kind of waste of your buildings because you will not get those
Which you
rewards.
want to do to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can do that. I mean, it's kind of amazing how much you look at the board at the end and see how much influence you wasted. It went nowhere.
True. And sometimes you get maybe rewards that you don't care.
Yes.
And you
but
don't,
there are opportunities to swap. One for other, for the same color, the same shape. Or,
correct. So you're always on the game. You're always being there.
All right. Well, thank you, Emma, for overview of Okanagan, Valley of the Lakes, which I have not seen up in Canada. I know on the West Coast in Canada. But
also, I would like to go, but
someday.
Yeah.
Yes. The publisher knows.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the overview.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. That can?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to sit here?
Yes. Yep.
It's my first time. Please be gentle, right? Like, I'm not good with cameras and everything.
That's right. It works out well.
Yeah, okay.
Do we not have the Zoom overhead, or?
Yeah, I do. It's just.
Sorry, what do I do? Like, I play.
So I will introduce you. It's Ken out of Tepe.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Woo! All right.
Perfect.
So I introduce you. We talk about alchemistry. Maybe you can give an overview of how we play. Or,
I don't know. Like the rules or just the general
We shoot
feel?
for like a 5-minute overview. We want to
just give me the clue. So I will just.
Yes. What's the cool stuff? What is new about this? What is different about this?
I don't know.
So not yet.
It's like, yes.
Not yet.
I don't know.
But that is the idea.
I
Is
will,
you want to,
I will just throw some stuff from here.
yeah. If you need to, do you want to set anything up on the board just to set up a situation to show example of gameplay? You can do that.
Let me just throw some stuff and just.
Yeah. You can figure out how you want to do things.
Yeah, okay.
To
Just
show
tell me
how
when we are
it
starting.
works.
So
Yeah.
just
Get a
forget
moment.
my line and just fuck up everything.
Yeah.
I'm just putting some stuff.
Okay. So it's mostly I will try to introduce you and lead, but you know the game, so you will then take us where we want to go from here.
I will just tell how we designed it and what is cool about it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hi, this is Eric Martin, Report Game Geek. I'm here with Ken out of Tepe from TCA Games looking at alchemistry. And a lot of games deal with alchemy and.
There is no microphone anywhere. I mean, can they hear us?
Yes.
This microphone is
Yes.
okay. So
These microphones are awesome.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So,
They pick you up
so
well.
what do you want me to say? Like the
So
story
what is
of
the
how we
goal of
design?
the game? What are we trying to do
So
here?
it's
What
like
is the
I don't
world
know.
like?
I will be blunt with you. So it is like Ticket to Ride meets how to say Splendor or something. It's
Okay.
kind of something like this.
Right.
I'm giving examples from the popular games. So this is
But
how
it
it
gives
is.
us an idea.
Yeah.
right?
So this
What
is
we're trying to do.
two of my good friends just came with an idea to me and said, "This is the game we designed. It's like a tile placement game with like it's like Ticket to Ride with some tile placement twist." So
Okay.
these are the portion tiles, so you place them like this and you can place them in any way you want. So this creates some sort of player interaction. At start it was exactly like Ticket to Ride, the mechanics were.
Right.
So, and I picked the game from there and I introduced so many new mechanics, so it became kind of like a resource optimization game of
Okay.
sorts
But
with
we're-
tile placement mechanics. So the idea is that you draw these cubes from, this is your portion ingredients.
Okay.
So you draw these ingredients from this pouch or bag or whatnot, and then you try to complete these portions, and this is how you score points. Basically,
Okay.
this is the game in a nutshell. So now
So-
every time you finish, you put a new tile, and you can put it in any way you want. So this creates some sort of interaction, so you can see what other player ingredients are, and you can block them
Okay.
in such manner. This is basically the game in a nutshell.
When we talk about completing the potions,
Yeah.
what do I need?
You need
Everything
these-
on
yes,
this tile,
you need-
on this tile, on
Yeah, so the idea
on
is that
all the bits?
if you put it like that, this portion tile becomes this. You see this six
Okay,
tile.
to transform
Yes,
that tile
if you
to
put it
something
like
you
this,
need.
this one transforms into that. So this
Okay.
is the idea. You can put it in any way you want except this, of course.
Right.
In any other way you can put it like that, like that. So there is a lot of interaction. You can finish both at once, which gives extra points.
Right.
And there are some other stuff which I will not go into details right now. So you
Okay.
can trade with merchants to score extra points and whatnot. So that's basically the game in a nutshell.
And I'm just drawing a certain number from the bag
You're-
each
you're-
turn.
you have some
From up there.
actions,
Okay.
some set of actions. So you can, for example, draw two from the pouch. You draw and you put it in your board like that.
Okay.
And then, for example, you can transmute this tree into
Into
this
the 2 gold.
into a gold, and like these actions are written here
Okay.
with pictograms as usual.
Okay.
And then you just try to finish the portion as usual. Like the mechanics are completely very easy. It's a very light game,
All
so
right.
to speak.
And the colored ones. They
The
are
colored
not,
ones.
They are not
the colored
pictured
ones.
here.
It's
They
yeah.
are
No,
only
the colored
pictured
ones
here.
is for the merchants.
Okay.
So you are selling them to the merchants. So for instance,
You get a set here. and
yeah,
sell for
I need
5
to
and
finish it exactly like that. So I finished it. I take it.
Okay.
And so it's 5 points at the end of the game. It's very easy.
Okay.
So this is the game in a nutshell.
All right.
Okay.
Well, there
So,
you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Very,
That was
very
easy.
brief overview. Yes.
Okay.
Easy.
I was extremely excited.
No, you come on camera all the time and
Okay.
and talk about this.
Okay.
So, Ken, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the overview of Alchemist Trade.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The Americans do that. Yeah.
Go
Do-
for it. I don't know if it's all
Do I need to put everything back, or you can do it?
I'll do it. It's over on
You
the
do-
side.
Okay, thank you. I need to go.
And that
away.
was it. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
When can
There
we
you go.
come by and pick up the other
You really know how to undersell a game. I'll just say that. This is it. This is all I have. I'm not sure why you'd want to have me on camera, but here I am, on camera, with my game. This is all we have. I don't know why I produced it. Yeah. Okay. There's no one chatting. Because it's really early in the US. That's right. Moving around. We'll have to watch this later. So, someone is setting up for the next game. They're not here yet. John, did the Hypnos people want to switch?
The what?
The Hypnos people want to switch?
Yeah,
or
Hypnos is going to be next. I already talked to them.
after these guys?
Yeah.
All right. And these guys are up in 1 minute. We gotta waste their time here. They should find a random person off the street. We should I mean, we do that sometimes where definitely you open up a game and you put it on the table and you're just like, what do I do with these components? I can imagine, because I played enough games, and these are tiles, and we're going to lay these together, and these look like they should make an image. I'm going to do this. Oh, these cards have pictures of those things. Clearly, it's a goal that I must do. Okay. Any surprising things seen already? It's mostly, I can't put this here. How do I do this up? Screw this. I got. Hey, now I can actually see this because I'm blind, old and blind. Apparently, Renegade Games did not get their palette, so they had some games when I passed by them yesterday, but not there. Pandasaurus was supposed to get 3 pallets this morning at 9 a.m., which I'm not sure if they did or didn't because I didn't go over there yet. Can you ask questions in the chat to the presenter? Sometimes, if we finish early or there seems something obvious. Ken obviously wanted to get out of here. He was not interested. Is there a schedule for today anywhere? Yes, on the front page of BGG, in the BGG announcements box, there should be a Spiel 2017 schedule. If you search the forums for Spiel 17 broadcast, you'll find a link to there. Okay. Hey, thank you, Nightbot, for listening to that schedule. Alright. Here we go. Hi.
Hi.
Is it Pear?
Yes, Pera.
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 Valero. From Games for Gamers.
Alright. We're all set. Linda. That is my wife. My wife has been transformed into a dog.
Sorry. That is Linda and Rambo. Rambo is another dog in the game, smaller.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. This is Para. Para. P-E-R-E. That's the sign you put up here. Ah, okay.
Ah. The second one is the pronunciation.
Yeah. She puts in the name so it goes across the screen at the bottom.
Okay.
Do that. Make sure we have the right name.
Are you recording now?
It's always live.
Always live.
Yes, but then we'll cut and we'll introduce
that's great.
right now.
Hi.
When Beth gives a thumb. Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I am here with Para Valero from Games for Gamers.
From Games for Gamers,
looking at
Barcelona.
Zombie Dawn. There are a lot of zombie games.
Yes.
So,
yes, of
the
course.
immediate question is, what is different?
Well, this is the zombies is just an excuse to do a survival game.
Okay.
So it's a
They're
survival
the impetus.
game.
They're like they're the thing that drives you.
Yeah.
And how to do this.
This is a survival game.
Okay.
And then also you are the survivors, but you are the zombies. And it's a game that you have different maps to move around, your own map and the map from the other players.
Okay.
It's separate maps, but you are all connected by water squares and by exit highway squares.
Okay.
So I can travel through the exit highway or through the water. With a boat, I have to travel to another, or even mine map. Okay.
So this is not particularly your map.
No,
you just start
it's
here.
the whole map, but separately, and that means that every time the game is going to be different if you put it in the different ways.
Okay.
And it's from 1 to 4 players, so you can play in a single mode.
So how am I the zombies and the survivors? Am I the zombies on your world or against you?
No, you have 6 action cards, and these action cards are some zombies that you can throw to another player.
Here, we'll just put it on here.
Yes, it's a game really competitive.
Okay.
Okay, so with your group you start with 1 survivor, and then you have to move through a map discarding these cards. For example, the actions can do different things. You can discard one and move to spaces.
Okay.
You can discard one when you arrive to a location. I discard one and I receive as many cards as the number in the location. The color is green or blue.
Okay.
In the green ones there are more medicines, food,
And
in
weapons in the other
and
one.
weapons in the. There is
Okay.
both have all things.
Okay.
But there are more probability for medicines or food in green and weapons in blue.
Okay.
Then you can also discard to escape. For example, if all other players throw a lot of zombies to you, what's clever to do is escape. Okay, we are no heroes. So I throw one, I discard one card and escape, and the other players choose one way to escape, only one adjacent square.
Okay.
Because I escape where they want.
All right.
But also I can do what the cards say. For example, if I have a car, I can put a car in play, and then this car allows me to move up to 6 squares. I can give hidden. For example, discard a zombie car in combat. So I can take one car that other player attack me. I can make lose another team and move them. So it's really interactive game.
Okay. And what's the final goal? Am I trying to be the last one alive?
Yes, there was not the last one alive, but the last one who has more victory points.
Okay.
And the victory points you can get it by every tile that you at least search in one location give you 1 point.
Okay.
Then every mission that you accomplish, because you start with 3 missions.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
For example, seems easy. Get and discard 5 zombie trophies during the round. In a round, all zombies that opponents throw to you, if you kill them, you keep it as a zombie trophy. There is a number that this is the zombie trophy. At the end of the round, the player who has more zombie trophies get an extra experience point.
Okay.
So this also for experience points, but also to do some missions or something. So there is a lot of things in the game that you will see every new game you do. But it's quite getting very different from one game to another.
Okay. And you mentioned there's solo play.
A solo play, you put the map all together, except the initials, where is the tent.
Right.
Only one tent, it's where you begin. You put all the map together, but in random. So if there is water, you cannot cross water. And you have 5 missions, and you have to accomplish the 5 missions before the 8th turn finish, because we have 8 turns.
Okay.
And the 8 turns are ruled by spring, 2 of spring, 2 of summer, 2 of fall, and 2 of winter. That it's getting hard because, for example, spring, rain, zombies and survivors impact with +1.
Okay.
Okay, but in winter, it's getting more difficult. Cold wave, add 1 wound to our groups. So
okay.
in winter, it's getting harder and harder. So the game, it's getting harder and harder because of the year and because of the other players that don't want you to allow some.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Thanks very much for the
Thanks
overview,
very
Vera.
much.
This is Zombie Dome. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll show you another one.
Yes.
We wanted to do some experience like a role play game, but in board game.
Okay.
I think we accomplished quite. We are very happy with this, with the result.
Perfect.
And this is our second new game,
All right.
especially from
We'll
here.
introduce you again. So we'll do a separate video. for each one.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll finish one and then do the other. We're still live, but
Okay.
It's not being permanently recorded. And here we go. You all set? Or are you gonna set anything up?
Okay.
Hi, this is Eric Martin of Working Geek. I'm here with Para Bolero from Games for Gamers, looking at Space Opera.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
We
Space,
have
Space Opera, it's a game where the players play as a species, different species. That a long time ago there was in the universe a plague that almost killed every species in the universe. So now the safest place in the universe is to continue traveling.
right.
Not
somewhere
staying on a
else that
planet.
hasn't been there before, right?
Yes.
Get out of the plague zone.
So you have to be the last to survive in the space.
Okay.
So this game is competitive, and we have to improve our species by jumping every turn. We jump to a system, and every system that it appears, every player has their own system.
Okay.
For example, all players. It means that if one player is in a yellow system, another as well, for example, this is double system, I can interact with the same colors. So
Okay.
this one can interact with yellow and red, this one only with yellow, and
Alright.
this cannot interact.
Off on its own.
If they want to interact, there are some cards that allows you to jump again. So maybe, well, this is fail, you
Right.
cannot interact, but maybe if you have another color, you can interact. What happens when some species interact? They can trade or they can fight.
Okay.
Because the clue of the game is to be the last survivor. So you win by annihilating all the other species,
Okay.
or to accomplish some state of technologies that the others are 2 levels behind you.
Okay.
And you have some different technologies. For example, soldiers that can give you, because there are 2 types of fights. Stellar fights, ships fighting, but then are interplanetary assault.
Okay.
No? You have 2 different.
Right.
So it's very complete in this way, as the name say, space opera.
Okay.
As a classical space opera movie, a space opera series.
Right.
And we are really, really happy about the finishing, the cars, the drawings, the design, and it makes the atmosphere so you are hooked by the game.
And
we
you're
like
going-
it very much.
And you're going sort of one path or the other, or I guess both, trying to advance in technology or eliminate the other players, depending on what you're
And,
drawing. and what you're doing.
well, and you can, for example, also the ships that you do, you can also add some, for example, if you have this technology ship, no? Or with this one, technology ship, I can add laser cannon. So I can improve the...
Right.
Well, also by technologies, and with technologies you can get more population. This population, for example, you can turn it to military
Okay.
to help your first planetary assaults, and almost that's all.
Okay.
It's a very, very addictive card game.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Para, for the overview. Space
Okay.
Opera.
Thank you.
Thank you. What? Alright. Small change in the schedule here because someone asked about surprises. Plan Play, which was supposed to be at 10:50, did not have their games. So we switched them with Studio Joe P, which was going to be at 2. 11:20 Fricks Games, they also don't have their games yet. So they're going to be some other time, and we'll have someone else here, I guess. We'll see. It's kind of a just random mystery. See what comes up. They're setting up the Hypnos guys. That's right. Just ordered Altiplano and Keeper. Oh my god, yes, your money is running out, man. Depending on which Keeper you got, of course. Alright, thank you. Enhance. 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 Oh, there we go. Alright. There. So hi, Joe.
Yes, Joe.
Gerard.
Yes.
Alright, it's easy to do. We can do this.
It's easy enough. Yes.
Yes. So we generally shoot for like a 5-minute overview.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
just introduce you. We talk on camera. You can talk to me or talk to the camera.
Well, I'll talk to the person who's sitting next to me.
Okay.
So.
Well, you know, you can talk to the guys at home. Hey, look at this. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
We got different cameras, and
Okay.
Beth will switch back and forth as needed between them.
Okay.
Okay. And we're all set. Okay. Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Joe Perard from Studio Joe P.
Studio P. Yes.
Okay. Now, Hypnos.
Yes.
Is a very definite look to it. I mean, this screams Hypnosis, even if you didn't have the title.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's also a
we
little
have
bit
that here.
Tim Burton-like art, so it's a little bit creepy. But we want to take the creepy out of the game, out of the Hypnos theme, because there's still something a little magical around Hypnos. But it's completely normal. It's
Okay.
a normal thing.
All right.
So,
and now, how does it work in the game?
Well,
I imagine we do not have to be trained.
No,
hypnotists
no,
to
because you
do
don't
things.
get born like a hypnotist. You have to train. So how does this translate it in the game? You start your life. You have some money, and you can buy books. You can buy some courses to learn what is hypnosis about. What is hypnosis about? And you have some defense cards. Some defense you can build up against people who want you to hypnotize you, but you're just laying a barrier around you. So I don't want to be hypnotized.
Okay.
So and there are also cards in the game which boost your attack, which boost your hypnotic ability.
Okay.
These are the red cards in the game. I'll try to find some like this one, and there's a nice card, the pendulum.
Okay.
See, so and. So you buy the cards. It's like a deck builder. It is a deck builder. You buy the cards. You get the cards in your hand,
So we
and
have
you
a
try to attack. This is the starting pile.
Okay.
It contains the money cards and 2 standard books. So you see, there's no prize underneath. So these cards are in the beginning in the start hand.
Okay.
And then you buy your stuff, and when you feel ready to attack the person who is your opponent, you gather all the books, all the courses you have, and you can boost it with 1 red card, and then you launch an hypnotic duel, a hypnotic attack.
That they try to defend against
They
immediately
can,
as you're
yes,
doing that.
and they can defend using also the brown book cards and the gray course cards, and they can boost it with 1 blue card.
Okay.
So there will be a lot of interaction in the game.
Okay.
And when you lose the duel, because if you attack and your attack value is less than the defender's value, you lose the duel. You go back 1 step.
Okay.
But when you come on one of the eyes, you see it's closing a little bit.
Yes.
So in the middle you're catacleptic, you are under hypnosis. So if you get on a prime number, there is 1 effect you can choose.
All right.
It's an effect that can be good or is good for the attacker, for the winner of the duel, but it's also good for the defender. For example, in the first effect, they can get a free expert, and expert cards are the most expensive cards in the game. See, they cost 8, but they do very powerful stuff. They can like boost your attack by 2.
Right.
You get an extra turn. We have also other cards in here. It's like, I think you know this guy. But this is my colleague, it's Patrick Picard.
Yes.
And he's a real lifetime hypnotist. So there was no game about hypnosis.
All right.
And we said, well, if there isn't a game, and he collects everything that has to do something with hypnosis, just make a game. We make the game.
All right.
And here we are, even on the Board Game Geek live stream. So perfect.
All right, and you were trying to be the last one who is not.
Yes, you are. You want to be the last one who is not in the middle.
Okay.
So
There we go.
it's a very easy game to play. It's well, my daughter of 10, she plays it with me, and she beats me. So she wins. She wins.
Okay. I
But-
thought though you were saying you wanted to make hypnosis less about attacking.
No,
You
it's
do a friendly view.
well,
of
it's not.
hypnosis.
It's not less about attacking. It's when it's a hypnotic duel. But we
Okay.
want to show the people that hypnosis is not something magical.
It's
Everybody
something
can
that you
learn.
are training
Yes,
to do.
it's like writing. It's like speaking. You have to learn before you can do it. Hypnosis, you are not born with the ability, and people don't have to fear hypnosis, because if my friend Patrick had the power to hypnotize everybody, why would I sit here to promote my game? Everybody would come to our stand, to our booth, and say, I want the game.
That's right.
So you want the game, you know it.
Or he just hypnotized you to reduce the game.
Right.
Publicize him.
Right. Okay.
It could be that.
Okay. No, I don't think so.
No?
It would be a nice.
It'd be
nice touch,
interesting
but
story. Yes.
no, but it's a very nice game. The rules are very simple, but the replay value is very big, because you have several combos in between all the cards. You can get an extra turn and take cards out of the people's hands, and reshuffle your deck, search for cards in your deck. So it's a very cool game, very nice game.
Okay.
And
with a subject that has been covered
that
before.
hasn't been covered anywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
you have Tricarion with the Mentalist, but it's not all about hypnosis.
Right. And now we
And
do.
now we have one game. So
There you go. All right. Thank you, Joe, for the overview.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
See you.
All right. See you.
I would love you.
We're early. I don't even think Beth stopped recording. She's not even looking here.
See you in a second or two, that's fine.
She's gone. This is gonna be like the longest video ever. I can do whatever I want. She's not even gonna know it, because she's not around producing. Our producer ran away.
I know.
I'm still recording. I don't know what this is. We're gonna end up on camera at some point.
I'll record you. No, you're not recording.
Oh, okay. Never mind. She got
So
up.
that was just for the live.
That was
Do
just
your little dance.
just for chat here. Never mind. Ah, dear. Boring game of Eklund. I'll be sure to introduce it that way. I think they'd go over well. Here's a game that I produced. I'm not sure why, but it's coming out here. All right. Chat, or John, you want to grab the box lid?
Yep.
Howdy.
Yeah, sort this a little bit.
Here, I'll take that.
Thanks.
Do the.
Thank you. Yeah, that just we'll put this.
I didn't know if it was.
Yeah. Randomness of this.
That's right. You probably want that.
Do I get a mic or something?
No, we have directional
Oh,
mics.
directional
yeah,
mics.
as you talk to me, this will.
Ah,
I know we
okay.
used to wire up everyone.
Yeah.
It takes time. Does this? And this generally works.
So technology marches on. That's what
Well, or we just try different things.
Or I should. Well,
I mean, we have the problem that the one that would be hooked on us would still pick up overhead noise, and we have this
really?
background. You don't realize how loud this hall is until you're at home and you click on the video just to see this, and it's droning in the ears.
Let's see.
So, let's hear.
Okay.
We're all set. That's ready. We're good. Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with designer Phil Eklund from Sierra Madre Games, looking at Bios Megafauna.
We're calling it Bios Megafauna 2 because it's such a huge revamp of the original one. I think it's better than saying second edition because it's been pretty thoroughly overhauled.
Okay. So maybe tell us what we're looking at here. We're going back in time.
Yes,
a little
500 million years. So from Bios Megafauna 1 perspective, this is twice as much time covered as the first one, which was only dinosaurs versus mammals. Now we've got things like bugs and snails, Hydra Skeleton creatures versus vertebrates like you and me.
Okay. So what are we representing here? What is our goal?
The goal is pretty much area control. I've got a number of cratons. You can have up to 4. These move around by continental drift, at least in the advanced game.
Okay.
And the number of units that you can start, like that you can end up on these cratons will determine victory at the end.
Okay.
There are also victory counted for certain things with the little fossil record icon on it. If you get tools, for instance, if you get the Medea supervillain, if you've extincted a lot of creatures, but you've still made a try at them, they get collected with their little fossils in the fossil record. So it's living things left on the map and your fossil record.
All right. So I'm not a particular creature or species or anything like this. I am sort of... I can have multiple attempts.
You can have multiple attempts with different species, but there's 4 different skeletons in the game, so the 4 colors represent a skeleton. In the original Bios Megafauna, it was dinosaurs versus mammals, and they were determined by dentition, the different types of teeth. In this game, it's different skeletons. So if you have your skeleton on the inside, bones like vertebrates, cows and horses and chickens and lizards and fish, then that is player white, the endoskeletal. But if you carry it on the outside, which is engineering more efficient, but problematic when you have to shed skin and things like that. When you're growing, it's problematic. Then you're a bug or an arthropod, exoskeletal creature. We also have cytoskeletal creatures, plants and fungi, and Hydra Skeleton. This is like lots of mollusks, worms, and snails support their skeleton when by fluids under pressure, and this is called Hydra Skeleton. And you need a skeleton to come out on land. This game begins where Bios Genesis ended, so you can play back to back. And but skeleton, when you're in the water, everything's weightless. It's like you're in space. You don't need a skeleton, but it can be useful for other things. But when you come up on land, skeleton is the key, and those are the 4 players.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. It's hard to move around if you...
yeah, without a skeleton, you're just a blob. And you kind of end up, Bios Genesis at a blob, and blobs are very exciting in Bios Genesis, but here they're only a blob. So, yeah.
It's good. It's good to have perspective that way. Yeah, you thought you were celebratory with being a blob, but...
Yeah, now you can become...
That's right.
Well, megafauna, you know.
That's right. You're not your grandfather anymore. You got to advance a little.
Another big difference between this and Bios Genesis, the first game in the Bios trilogy, is Bios Genesis was heavily dice dependent, and in this game you really don't use dice at all, except as a marker to show how big you are. If you have a size 1 creature, you're only like 200 grams, a big spider, big tarantula. But you can go up to like 60 tons. and we put a little size dice, at least in the advanced game, to show how big you are.
Okay.
That's only in the advanced game.
All right. So how are we creating new creatures or new species? And
Yeah, everyone starts as a pretty unspecialized creature that's just crawled up on land in the Ordovician.
That's right. That is
and
our
yeah, so this is well, maybe a scorpion or a mushroom or some of the very first terrestrial animals. But you want to get to be flying or swimming or burrowing. You want to become specialized here.
Right.
So you can use these mutation cards to be able to speciate into new species. These mutations use the same color scheme as Biogenesis, and this top row is the Roadrunner cards. The red ones, every red one you get enhances your senses, eyes, ears. The yellow ones are for your respiratory, circulatory system.
Okay.
So this helps your endurance, how it helps you run fast. Yeah, you can see lungs and hearts, bone marrow. So those are useful for endurance. Anything, predator-prey relationship cards are used in the reds and yellows. Blues and greens are more Darwinian. Blues are the reproductive system, so all these represent organs.
Right.
If you were to, I should finish this off. Blue is reproductive, green is digestive, so it helps you see who's the best at digesting the plants.
Okay.
So
Which is going to let you go more places.
Yeah. If I were to get this card for my plant, for instance, maybe, I'd put it here. I'd show that I have an enhanced reproductive system with my downy parachute seeds. I'm able to actually mutate into a flying creature. This is a little fly here.
Okay.
And I show that by flipping the card over. This is a promotion action. All promoted cards have two options, and you flip to see which one you want. Vermiform is like a worm or something. What do you want your worm to be? Oh, you want it to be able to move along by fluctuating tubes of muscles? Or do you want to evolve a sculling tail to be able to swim through the water with your worm shape? Okay. So all these cards flip to an advanced side on their flip side, and they give you, this one allows you to speciate into a flying creature, and then you would be able to use your little flying for player green. Maybe he would now have, along with his archetype, he would have a new flying creature. I should mention too, there's two player trophic levels in the game. 3 if you're going to be on Mars or Venus, and those trophic levels are predator, herbivore, and plant. So in this situation, we've got an herbivore orange archetype being eaten by a player white flying predator, and they're eating the plants. On Mars or Venus, the plants are also a player, so you have 3 different trophic levels in that situation.
Okay. And you can just decide what sort of whether it's going to have a different board for the different.
There's different setups for the different scenarios.
Okay.
And so I'll mention briefly the advanced game, even though I've alluded to it. The advanced game, the basic game I call Tooth and Claw, and this is for Euro players who like really mano-a-mano, player versus player kind of action. Okay. And they want it more predictable, and they want, clear winners. Now, if you want to go for the Octobahn game, Octobahn a German term for roller coaster, then you introduce things like climate discs to the game and event cards. This is different because now you have to survive not only your opponents, but against nature. Nature's against you as well, and you want to be able to survive this. And in the advanced game, I've got different latitudes as these drift up and down. They could become covered with ice. I've got 3 cycles I've got the greenhouse gases. This is a carbon cycle, the water cycle, and the oxygen cycle. And these will have, they're called cycles because there's a fixed number of disks in the game. And the disks alternate between being on the map, say here's an oil deposit just right offshore here, or that oil can be burned and added to the greenhouse atmosphere for to determine which events you're in. Too hot, too cold, Goldilocks.
Okay.
And there's 3 eras in the game, 4 if you're going on to the BIOS Origins game, which is the 3rd in the trilogy. Trilogies usually have 3 parts.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. I also wanted to mention, if I have time, to that a goodly part of the game is the emotions, and you want to. This is developing your brain to have decision-making algorithms called emotions. You have different emotions.
Okay.
This is fear. This is supposed to be angst or fear here. Now, fear helps you because, you can run away if
you know to run away.
Yeah, you know when to run away.
Right.
Here's one. Supposing you got these 2 cards. Here's an interesting one. Here are 2 cards. These are toothy skin that can be adapted into teeth later on, and filial cannibalism. You're eating your own young. Right. Helps you. Okay, now you're going to promote them. So you promote this, and we're going to go for the emotion called curiosity. Curiosity, as in what killed the cat. So we're going to choose brood parasitism, and we're going to choose mandibles. So we fit these together to form this emotion called curiosity. And you can make a longer creature that also has happiness, the happiness that comes with a full belly. All these have advantages. They've got persistence. They give you dominance and victory conditions. But for this particular one, curiosity, this allows you to choose a tool. Curiosity will make you into a tool-using species. And in this game, I see there's lots of flying creatures, so I better choose a net, which allows me to catch flying creatures for my tool. So yeah, the emotions, most in the playtest at least, most of the players concentrate on getting these. It helps you be more survivable in bad events, and it gives you cool things that you can do.
Okay. All based on whatever this current situation is.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You gotta read the landscape.
You gotta read the landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, there's no dice in the game, so you have to go through a little contest procedure. If, for instance, you have, say, 2 carnivores competing to try to eat this herbivore, you have to go through a little procedure to see who's better adapted at eating them.
Right. Or you let him eat the herbivore and then you eat him.
Well, I don't have. I only have 3 levels, 3 trophic levels in the game, so I don't have a top predator.
But maybe next time there. All right. So there you go. Thank you very much
for your
overview of BIOS Megafauna 2.
Yes, BIOS Megafauna 2.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. No. Random key.
As best as I could, I'm sure you'll need to adjust some stuff.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Not a problem.
Yes. John, you get the box too?
Did a pretty good job.
see if you look at the booth and see who's close. Okay. That's what Chad was doing yesterday. But I mean,
was there no cubes in the game? I thought there was cubes. Did I lose some? Maybe I have to steal cubes from my other game.
For maybe.
Yeah,
he just didn't get them out. We got several people whose games have not arrived yet, so they want to reschedule.
Yeah, this is a shocking thing to have happened. I've been in this. Struck the elephant there, and yeah, I think we'll put.
Someone asked in chat, they said, are you getting smaller or your box is getting bigger? It's true. They're a little bigger than you go to Greenland and some of the older ones.
I have not abandoned the small box, but Chad really wanted a map for this, so it was originally scheduled to be small box. Now it's not.
Now it's not. There you go. So, and Cole, you pronounce the last name World?
Yeah, weirdly, I think it's quite German, but really.
Cole,
I hope that's right.
Cole in here. Cole can correct us later.
Yeah, I hope he's got patience. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Phil Eklund from Sierra Madre Games.
Hello.
Looking at Cole Verla's John Company.
Yes.
Which he did a great designer diary for.
Oh, yeah.
Got to publish that.
Just came out. Oh, it's fantastic. About very long history in trying to bring this thing to the table and the new concepts it represents, because it's a very innovative game.
Yes. So maybe we can present an overview here of what. Finally, we had the reality of the game in front of us.
Yeah,
so,
and
talk about it.
I'll mention we've got a double-sided board. Maybe I'll just take a quick look at the other side. Yeah. So this is for the solitaire version, but this is the side that I've been play testing. And this shows the company structure of John Company, the world's first stock company. Well, maybe not the world's first, but the most successful, the most notorious of the joint stock companies established in the 19th and 17th and 18th centuries. And he's got a large number of scenarios in the book from the early stages on the later stages, the stages in which the company was taken over by the British Raj, by the British government, basically nationalized, and the phases where, the stages where perhaps the British government can bail out the company when it gets into trouble. So each player is starting as one family. It's like a dynasty game, and you can have up to 6. There's a lot of players in this game, and the fortunes of all the members, the scions, the sons of this game, are depicted by your color cubes on this company structure map. Very intricate and beautiful map made by Cole Weary for this purpose. You should have, I'm not setting this up properly, but there's a track here for game turns. There's a track for company revenue. So what you're going to try to do is, well, dominate the company, but in particular for your own private interest, including retiring into private society.
Okay.
So you've got prizes here, and I've got a number of prizes out that you'll be competing for, and you can establish newspapers, or go in the House of Commons, or professorship, or just get a nice retirement manor on some Scottish island or something. So, yeah, these allowed to give you victory points, and they depend a lot on if you're just an executive position or one of these sub-executive positions down here.
Okay. Can you give an overview of? We've got the goal here representing the families and what we were trying to win, I guess. Whatever personal goals we set for ourselves. Personal goals,
and those I'll mention while I'm thinking of it, that those personal goals obviously might not be aligned with whatever the company, whatever that is, would like to see. Certainly, I've played with players who want to see the company go under. And so they try to sink it, as it were.
Okay. What's the nature of a turn leg, or how do we try to work towards achieving these goals?
You have to fill positions. You go through a family. Here's the sequence of play here.
Okay.
You go through a family operation. Then you fill vacancies in the company, and so you start moving cubes. Let's just say there's some. During the family phase, you may have established some captains here, and maybe some riders and some officers. And these are people who are sort of young, ambitious, or maybe not so. They could be lazy or whatever, but you're going to start promoting. You're going to find who's been retired, which of these positions, either executive, sub-executive, are open, and you start installing them in place all the way up to the chairman. Chairman, as I've found out the hard way, is not necessarily the best place to be.
Assume it's your head on the block if things go wrong.
Well, there is that. Your head's on the block if things go wrong. That's true.
Yeah.
But other places can be more profitable for you. These various presidencies for different parts of India can, because basically money comes in from trade, generated from building of ships and building up cargo for ships, represented by these icons and these will bring in the money, and as in any structure, private or public, the closer you are to the source of the money, the more slips into your pocket. But there's a lot of neat balances over just how much you're going to risk there in these various provinces of India that could be at risk unless they're supported and could go under. And you may be interested in letting one area go under but supporting another. Now, I'll mention too, I was supposed to go through this. I'll get back to it, I promise. I'll mention the elephant just because it's big and cute and cool looking. But this is a mechanism which I've already started to borrow for other PAX games to show where the attention, where the focus is, where the action is basically. And if the elephant moves to, say, Bengal or something, then this means, oh, there could be rebellion. We have a number of actions that might occur in there. It could be overthrown. It could be the prophets could be negated. Things like this.
Okay.
And you sort of have to predict where. And it's not random where the elephant goes. You sort of have to predict what's going to happen and plan ahead for it.
Okay.
Now I'm going to try to get back to this.
You're filling the vacancies around the board?
Yeah, the director of trade decides. He uses the goods that have been built and the ships, and he allocates those as he sees fit. Each area has their own little responsibility for their own domain. Okay. And then during the trade, we generate the revenue, and we see what the company revenue is, and we determine whether or not the company's in trouble and needs a bailout or something. We go through these game turns. Now, normally I play like 4 game turns, so there's a lot of negotiating along this way, and one of the mechanisms that Cole has come up with is a favor.
Right.
A favor token.
Very ingenious.
It worked pretty well. Once the players get used to it, they have to sort of get used to this concept, and they say, yeah, well, I'll do that for a favor token. And these favor tokens can start to build up, and like any clannish thing, they can start to work against you.
Right. It's a good way, though, of sort of having that middle ground of you can pay for it if you want by not returning the favor, or eventually you do something else. That works pretty cool. I wanted to mention the last phase, if I have time here. Yeah. This is sort of something that I believe Paul told me came straight from my game Lords of the Sierra Madre. Having